Hey, Gobel here. I'm here on the Creator Experience server for Zenless Zero, and we're going to be looking at Qingyi 10 days before her banner. Things may be subject to change, but I'll let you know if so. Today, we'll be looking at her kit, how she kind of works, and some showcases I did, as well as some thoughts on her and her signature engine. This is my first type of this video for ZZZ, so please let me know your suggestions for the next one, which might be on Jane Doe. And I will be releasing a full Qingyi guide on banner release, so make sure to subscribe if you want to know her best combos, builds, and teams, as this will be more of a first impression. So let's go check it out. Qingyi is a very fast-paced stun unit. She has a lot of fluid combos and abilities that sync into one another. She's really fun and packs a big punch in both days and damage. She also provides damage amping capabilities, which is always an amazing thing to have on a non-support unit. So here's Qingyi. Since in my character guides I hone in on specific things and don't care about unnecessary abilities, today we'll actually look at her kit, all of it, one by one. Her basic attack has a 4 attack string, and during the third basic, you can keep tapping the attack button to continuously repeat her basic 3. You can just keep spamming it, it's pretty funny. If you let go, you'll reach her 4th basic attack. And letting go after a certain amount of basic 3 duration enhances it to a big slam dunk. You want to keep spamming this basic 3 until the flash shows up and then let go to use that empowered basic 4. She also gets an alternative basic 1 after finishing one full basic string combo. Next up is her charge attack, Enchanted Blossoms. It's nothing special, but it is a free heavy attack, which means you can launch chain attacks from it. Now, Flash Connect is her unique gameplay mechanic. In the top left of combat, you'll see a meter, and this will be filled up when you do any electric damage on her. So her first few basics do some physical damage, and then that basic 3 spam will keep doing electric hits, building this up very fast. Her EX and ult and anything that does electric damage fills it up. It's a bar of 100, and when it's past 75%, you enter the Flash Connect state, which gives you a brand new charged attack. Holding basic lets you use it. You have up to 5 rush attacks and then a finishing strike, and you can cancel this early. Also, if you manage to time the finishing strike during an enemy attack, you get a perfect dodge at the same time. You want to maximize your voltage stacking with her abilities and make sure to then consume it as soon as possible for massive days as well as damage amping, as we'll see in a bit. Her dodge is pretty simple, nothing crazy here, and her dash attack is too, and it won't be dealing any electric damage. Her dodge counter is pretty strong like all stun units for Days Power, and it will be doing electric damage for our voltage meter. What I like about both her dodge and dodge counter though, is that when using them, you can instantly chain into her basic attack button, and her basic 3 spamming can be launched directly rather than having to go through basics 1 and 2. It means you can constantly dodge attacks and then keep maintaining that basic 3. Quick Assist launches her up into the air and more electric damage. It can also be comboed straight into that basic 3 spam. And her defensive assist, like on any stun unit, is potent, and so is that big assist follow-up. Here is her normal special, and here is her EX special. She does a cool spin in the air and then smacks down. If you hold the EX, it adds an extra spin, and of course does more days and damage at the cost of a little more energy. Her EX requires 60 energy, and you need another 20 if you want to extend it. Extending it is the way if you want maximum days, but over the duration of a fight, using normal EXs is fine too. This is because after an EX, you can yet again go straight into her basic 3. Finally, this is her chain attack, which causes a lot of electric damage and even gets buffed by her core passive. We'll see what that means after. And her ult is a load of days, but you'd want to use your ult on your main carry. Cool animation though. So her core passive is a wall of text, and it's kinda crazy, but I'll explain it very easily. That enhanced charge attack that she can do once her voltage counter goes past 75% will increase enemy stun damage multiplier. You get up to 20 of these subjugation stacks, and it's a 3% stun multiplier increase per stack at level 7. Meaning a possible 60% stun multiply increase, nearly double Lycon's. So only the finishing strike applies these subjugation stacks, and it will apply a minimum of 5. It will apply up to 5 more, depending on how many of those rush attacks you did before, up to 5. And if you do a perfect dodge during the final strike, it applies another 10, capping it out. But if you're versus normal or elite enemies, you get double the stacks, so you always get 20 if you do the full combo on these enemies. The only time you don't get a full 20 is thus versus bosses, but you can definitely do 2 of these combos before the boss ends up dazed. And her combo is very fast, so there's not really an issue. Her additional ability is like Zhu Yuan's, where it strays away from the standard condition and creates a lot of flexibility. Unlike Lycon, who loses a lot from not having Ice or Victoria, all Qingyi needs is an attack unit. This will increase her basic attack days by 20%, which is pretty major because she's spamming basics. Then she gets a flat attack buff scaling with impact past 120. It's a decent DPS boost for a stun unit, but she won't be blowing away DPS numbers. So as a stunner, it's natural to just run the 4 Shockstar Disco set alongside 2 Swing Jazz. Very simple. Maybe some gamers will want to run 2 Thunder Metal instead, but with a possible 80 energy cost, I really prefer Swing Jazz. Crit, electric damage, and impact seems the best from my initial look at her. Let's look at her signature weapon though. When a basic hits an enemy, you gain 1 stack of Terrific, giving 0.7% combat impact. Combat impact is pretty crazy to have, and this goes up to 30 stacks for a total of 21%. It lasts 8 seconds, but with that basic 3 spam, she immediately maxes this bad boy out. Not only that, at 15 or higher stacks, your team gets a 20% damage buff for 10 seconds. Now that's not too crazy, but it's still a damage amp on a stun weapon, which is really cool to have. Now I'm going to talk about why you might or might not want Qingyi, and in the background I'll be playing various showcases of her. Qingyi is an extraordinarily comfy unit to use. She is a relatively simple unit, but has a lot of hidden features that enable a really fluid playstyle. She can keep spamming that basic 3, and then she sees a flash and goes into that enhanced basic 4. She can then hold EX and go directly into her enhanced charge attacks. If she dodges, boom, she's back to her basic 3 spam. She can keep spamming dodges, dodge counter, back to basic 3 spam, then basic 4, then her charge attacks yet again. She is so fun to use because she has so many things she can do, and she can keep repeating it in a short time frame. You really feel like you're running laps around enemies when using her, and you have outplay potential, where you can avoid having your combos interrupted and ruined. Her daze potential is immense, obviously. She is a limited stun unit. All of these quick combos unleash so much daze in a short amount of time. She also has decent AoE stunning power with that basic 3 spam, and I mean if you pair her with Nicole, even easier. And her damage is not bad too. She has by far the highest damage output among stun units, which is a nice bonus on top of everything else. Not only is she dazing faster than them, she's doing more damage and providing more damage amp whilst being comfier to play. So you're pulling for a stun unit that upgrades in pretty much everything someone like Ambi would do. But a limited stun unit won't save you from having bad damage or a weak roster. And that's where a limited DPS would be more favorable. Pushing Shiyu defense with Qingyi's damage amp will help, but so would having a unit like Zhu Yuan, or maybe Jane Doe. There's also the possibility of a limited support, and they could be genuinely bonkers for damage amp. Because whilst the stun multiplier increase is massive, imagine what a 5-star Nicole could do, damage-wise. Anyway, let me know if you will end up picking her up and maybe her signature Wenjin. Again, also let me know if you have any suggestions for the next early access video. I don't really know what to do here since I'm used to guides, and I don't want to give you guys repetitive info. In 10 days, I will see you though for a complete in-depth guide on her. So sub if you want to catch that, and like and share with your friends. Thanks for watching, and have a go day.